name's Leonard Forsman. My ancestral name is Gwee, which means raven in the Celtic language, and I'm chairman of the Suquamish tribe. And I was born and raised here in Suquamish, and worked at our museum as a director and a researcher, and then worked in archaeology for a number of years, and came back to tribal government and been serving as chairman since 2005.
And you've been around a long time. You grew up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of changes have you seen in your lifetime here?
Well, it kind of depends on the context of the change, but as far as the tribe is concerned, the tribe's made a lot of progress. We've been able to see some opportunities and restate our traditions and assume our place as a member of the family of governments here, the oldest government. So, but environmentally, we've had a lot of change too, a lot more growth, a lot more people, and obviously seeing more evidence of climate change as we've seen this summer. Haven't had any rain for a couple months. It's pretty, I guess you might say, intriguing and depressing at the same time. Fishermen, I saw a fisherman, he said, I've been waiting on the rain, you know, because the rain gets the salmon moving in the fall. So we haven't had that happen yet, so we're a little concerned.
Tribes now having a place at the table through co-management, and then having tribes now really focus in the last decades on economic development. Does that empower you to pursue initiatives to try to curb however you can do it? Restore habitat? How much does it help your conservation efforts?
Well, I think that the Bolt decision and recognizing the tribe as a government and as a co-manager is super important, not only in a fisheries context. Of course, the immediate and benefit, and hopefully the continuing benefit, is that we are managing our fisheries for our fishermen and for the salmon runs and the shellfish populations in general, that we maintain those sustainably. One of the things we found was there wasn't enough funding to implement everything that needed to be implemented. And so that included fisheries and fisheries enhancement, but also included enforcement and legal action and legal defense, and then also pursuing social justice.
We now have a younger generation that is kind of, well, they're determined, but they're kind of angry at us in a way, and they're calling their parents and their grandparents to task. That's a sign of hope. Yeah?
Yeah, I found that it was an interesting moment when I'm on my 5th or 6th meeting as a regent for the University of Washington. And before I came, there was an initiative to divest the university's money out of fossil fuels. And this has been a student-led initiative that's been going on for a while. And it kind of culminated in us making a decision. And one of the leaders of that was disappointed that we were waiting 5 years to implement. And I told him, well, this is a big ship and it takes a long time to move it, and you're in the right direction, so take this as a victory. I know you don't see it as a victory. And that's what happens a lot in our lives too, as tribal leaders, is sometimes you got to take what you can get in order to make some progress. And I think that that's where we got to start getting these smaller wins and work towards the big wins. But that's hard. It's hard when you come in and people are getting, you know, returns of salmon that are in the dozens, not the thousands or the millions, in the dozens if they're lucky. And so when you hear that and they say, well, we need to work on a plan, we've got to implement this over time, and you know, we need to have more meetings, and we need to do a compromise with industry. It's hard to tell people on some of those places that aren't getting those returns.